I want to welcome our viewers to a really cool podcast. It's right up my alley in golf carts, but it goes beyond golf carts. It goes into transportation. And we're here at Overture, and I'm with a guest that has a golf cart or a cart dealership right down the street. And so, Dave, introduce yourself, who you are, and what kind of business you have and who you serve out there, so our viewers can have an idea who they're listening to.
Good morning, Pete. Well, my name's David Kligfeld. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
And I'm the owner and founder of Kliggy's Carts in Kennesaw, Georgia. And basically, the whole concept started with transporting people around in their community, to the pool, to the mailbox, if they don't have a mailbox at their, at the end of their driveway where they have a community mailbox. And it started growing from that, where people wanted to take them out of their neighborhoods onto the streets. So we came up with an idea to make the golf carts what they call LSVs, and that means low speed vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And by purchasing one of those from my dealership, you're able to drive on Georgia roadways with a 35 mile an hour posted speed and below. And when you purchase the cart from my dealership, you go to the tag agency, give them the paperwork. They'll give you a registration and a license plate, which allows you to do that. A lot of people want to register their low speed vehicle, and some people don't because they keep it in their neighborhood. And if they're just driving around in the neighborhood and not actually leaving to go onto any main roads, they don't need to do that. But I encourage everybody to do it, and this way the police for some reason won't stop you and ask you for credentials or your registration. So I've been offering to help people get tags on their low speed vehicles and be able to drive all over the roads as long as they stay on 35 mile an hour roads and under. And it's been a very big success since early 2021 for my dealership and for our brand. It's been around about 5 years, and everything is growing exponentially.
Well, I'm self-appointing you as the transportation guy. So it was funny because when I first heard a person here told me about you, and I go to Publix all the time. So at Old 41 and Barrett is where you're located. And so she said, "Hey, there's a golf cart sitting out, placed down the street." And I said, "What? Really?" So that's when I came in and met you. Beautiful, beautiful facility. And so, but I up here at Overture, one of the challenges is they move, and their kids may say, "Hey, I want to be near my grandkids," but they don't have transportation, so they have to ask all the residents or do Uber or Lyft. So the idea of having something that can ride on the road, I just couldn't believe that. I thought it was all sidewalk stuff.
No.
So is that like, I'm just curious for my own sake, is that a Georgia thing that you can ride on the roads, or is it a county thing that the low speed ordinance and having a tag?
I think it's well, I know I just opened up another location in Fort Lauderdale, Florida last week, and it's the same rules and regulations as Georgia. So I suppose it's definitely in the Southeast. You're able to take. Now, you can't register a golf cart and put a license plate on it. Golf carts are meant for the golf course, and they're meant to stay in your neighborhood. Because mine is considered an LSV, low speed vehicle, what ends up happening is it's street legal, meaning it's got seat belts, it's got a windshield, it's got blinkers, it's got a horn, it's got high and low beam headlights, and they actually follow the guidelines that the state of Georgia put up for the golf cart low speed vehicle to be on roads legally. You're supposed to be able to go on roads up to 35 mile an hour posted signs. And the rules by the Department of Motor Vehicle are as follows. The vehicle must be able to go over 20 miles an hour, but not more than 25 miles an hour, which is a very strange scenario. Like, they're going to let you go on a 35 mile an hour road, but you can only go 25. And the reason being is any vehicle that goes over 25 miles an hour now has to be involved in safety tests that regular automobiles go through, as well as crash tests. And in that type of scenario, obviously, none of these golf cart low speed vehicles that I sell are going to go through crash tests and survive, because you don't want them hitting anything. They're going to get damaged severely. So the whole concept of this particular product is that I tell everybody basically to stay on roads 25 and under. I'm not a big fan of the 35 mile an hour roads, but a lot of these access roads, where people are going 25 miles an hour, it's extremely safe.
Right.
And there are people, you are allowed to cross the road. If it's a road that's 45 mile an hour, you're allowed to cross that with the license plate on the cart if you registered my golf cart. So again, you can't register a golf cart, but you can register a low speed vehicle, and that will allow some of your friends and neighbors to be able to put a license plate on it and drive around and get them back and forth at very competitive prices. And it'll get them back and forth to Publix, to the bank, what have you. And or you can get somebody in the community that buys one, stretch cart, which we call our 6-seater. They could go around and pick up people and take them for their errands.
I think that's ideal because I play out at Pine Tree, and there's probably about 10 people that have carts, but they bring them from their homes to the parking lot and park them, and then go and play golf.
Yes.
I'm sure now, understanding a little bit more about it, you said something about the tires and there are ones that they can
use on the golf course.
Yeah, but so, explain to our viewers what the difference is there.
So I have a couple options. We have my vehicles. We have two options with multiple lines of power. The two options are a 2-inch and a 5-inch lift. And what that means is 2 inches higher than a normal golf cart, or 5 inches higher than a normal golf cart, which look a little bit more, let's say, aggressive with all-terrain tires. Those vehicles are not allowed on the golf course. My 2-inch lift vehicles are allowed on the golf course because they have street tires on them, and they are lower to the ground, similar to a regular golf cart. But we just came out, Pete, with a golf cart that we're going to be marketing to the golf courses, so that when their leases run out with the Yamaha or Easy Goes that they have that are all uniform at the golf course, we're coming out now, and we should be ready to launch them in November, where the golf courses are going to be probably buying them from us, and they're going to be letting their golfers use those to golf. But a lot of the public courses that you go to, they don't care if you bring your own golf cart. And so my 2-inch lift with the street tires is allowed on golf courses, not the private country clubs, that are expensive, $100,000 to join type thing. Right. But the regular public courses are allowing my 2-inch lifted carts with regular car tread tires on the golf cart, so they don't tear up the course.
Gotcha.
Many times as well, you notice a lot of people will be golfing and it's cart path only.
Yes.
So obviously my carts are allowed on that as well. But I would say right now, with the two models I just spoke to you about, our situation is that I would say 90+% of the people that are purchasing from us are not golfing with the golf cart. They can, but they don't. They're using it for transportation, so they don't have to pay for gas to put in it. They're also driving in their country club with it to the pro shop, maybe
Right.
going to the driving range because we have custom golf bag holders that sit on the back of the cart. So they
Right.
go to the driving range and they hit balls, or the chipping area and they hit balls. But a lot of times when they're done with that, they take the cart, they park it in a regular parking space, and then they go and get a golf cart at the golf course and they go golfing and then get back in my cart to go home.
I got you. So I'm thinking like Cobblestone. You have homes around it here locally in Ackworth. So if you lived on the golf course, you'd be driving the golf cart to the parking lot and then maybe transferring it over if they did.
A lot of people are doing that.
Okay. That makes sense because, I have, are you familiar with Solo Rider? Those adaptive handicap type golf carts. Are you familiar with that?
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen them.
Okay. Well, there's like only two courses that have it. And he's been on our podcast, David Windsor, who runs the adaptive golf for the USA. So they're trying to get more golf handicap enabled or abled golf carts for the people that have physical challenges.
We do that, but they're kind of custom orders. We do it for Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of that with sick children, where we're putting hydraulic ramps on the side of the golf cart, and they're able to roll their wheelchair onto it. And then there's a swivel seat that is behind the steering wheel that allows them to get out of their wheelchair, sit into the seat behind the steering wheel, put their chair locked into a space on the golf cart, and then rotate the seat so that they could drive the cart around. Right. And that's been working, but we do that as custom orders.
Okay.
They're not taking them onto the golf cart, of course, and golfing, but it's just a way for them to get around.
Okay.
Yes, and for handicapped people. But I understand what you're saying. You did send me some literature, and I looked at a video, I think once, if I remember, where some handicapped person was using that particular scenario you talked about, and they were golfing, unable to stand very well, but I saw what they were using to get around. Yes.
They have, as he explains to me, that he takes 7 veterans to St. Andrews every year, part of his foundation.
That's what it was. I was reading.
Yeah. And so what the tires can be driven on a green. So if somebody is physically challenged where they have to putt. So and when he was over in St. Andrews, the guy goes, "No, you can't bring that on the tee." He goes, "Hey, look, we've already talked to the general manager. We have special tires that actually are softer than you walk on it." I don't know how that
amazing. I didn't think anything was allowed on the green.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't even let golfers on the green. They're so careful.
I know, because you drag your feet and then you tear up the greens, but evidently it's like so soft,
like a pillow.
That you can take a person that has a hard time walking,
moving,
short distance. They can go and make the putts with the golf cart.
I've heard about him getting close.
Yeah,
green and
exactly.
Maybe but I've never heard him going on them.
Yeah, that's kind of he's going to be on with Randy, who went to St. Andrews, and he put on an incredible exhibition because they were doubting whether he could hit it 270 over the corner, and this guy with one hand ripped it. I mean, this guy,
wow,
he was 2 under after 6 holes at St. Andrews.
Very talented people out there.
Yes, absolutely. It's just adapting to what their needs are and then giving them the tools and resources
to do it.
Yeah. I agree. So what do you think? I'm super excited about the whole idea of getting around this, because we have a retailing complex up here at Overture. And so for our residents to understand, how do you plugging it in and charging it? What's that look like? And
It's
even
a very, very, very easy procedure. So
okay.
all of our golf carts, let's just call them low-speed vehicles,
Uh-huh.
um, they're identical to a golf cart. They just have features on it that make it street legal.
Okay.
Seat belts and I mentioned earlier blinkers and a horn and a windshield, things like that. It's really a golf cart. It's just got some safety features in it that allow it to be on the road. But being that ours is electric, we wanted to kind of revolutionize the industry. A lot of the
Mhm.
electric carts of the past, what happens is you would have to carry around this large, clunky charger,
Yes,
which
I've seen them. Yes,
it
I know what you're
plugs
talking about.
into the wall
Yes.
and to any outlet in, let's say, your garage or
Mhm.
wherever you're at. It plugs into the outlet. And then you take the charging cable and you plug that into this big
Yep.
in machine, which
Mhm.
then you plug the other end of the cord into the golf cart. Well, my very, very close friend of 40 years, who is the founder of the Royal EV, which is our manufacturer, he
Mhm.
wanted to make a more cleaner presentation and
Right.
not have to have people carry this charger around, because if you get out of charge and you break down, you have to pull this clunky charger out and find an outlet to go plug into. Well, what we did was we built the golf carts with the charger already on board. So
Uh,
basically, this is a very, very easy application. You don't have to do anything with carrying any type of devices around.
mhm.
You have a 16-foot cable, plugs into a regular outlet, and you plug the other end right into the golf cart.
Wow. So you don't
Lithium,
have to hire an electrician.
nothing. It's easy, and
No,
they're
like
lithium
Tesla,
batteries.
because of my buddy Paul Powers, he's a Tesla dealer, and he puts in the charging stations in the garage for the
Yep.
Tesla.
Yep.
So it's not you just use a standard 240 or something
A
or
regular outlet in your house. You just
regular.
plug it in,
Oh,
a
really?
three prong, just plug it in. What is that, 110?
Yeah. Oh, 110, really?
Just plug it right in and it charges the carts. And I'll give you a quick little education on our
Yeah.
batteries, because we use what we call lithium batteries. Lithium
Okay.
batteries at 100% charge have full power.
Hmm.
Also, when they drop down to 30, 40, 50% charging, it's still full power. But a
Okay.
lot of people and a lot of your followers and listeners may get a little scared because they hear lithium and they think of Teslas. And there was a thing going on where the batteries were catching on fire during the charging process in people's
Right.
homes. So those are what they call lithium ion, and they're hazardous and they're very volatile batteries. And being very friendly with many firemen, they've told me that it's the hardest fire to put out, a lithium fire.
Wow.
They've gone to put out a Tesla car fire before, and they've told me it spent 6,000 gallons of water to put this fire out.
Hmm.
Ours are not those type of lithium batteries. We have something called lithium phosphate, which is a much, much less volatile type of product. And the safety and the results of this battery have been, through all these years of testings, we have no flammable consequences. So I don't
Okay.
want your listeners to hear lithium and think, oh my God, I don't want it to catch on fire.
Hmm.
It's not a lithium ion that goes in the Tesla cars. They're lithium phosphate. So anyway, these batteries hold a charge tremendously long time. And on a charge, if you charge it all night, you wake up in the morning, it's got an intelligent charger. And once the charge is full, it automatically turns off. You don't have to wake up in the middle of the night, run and unplug it. None of that. It's totally, they call it a smart charger. So what
Hmm.
happens is this particular battery will allow you to go 30, 35 miles on a charge, which is, if you've been 5 miles in a golf cart, that's a long, long way. So
Right.
30 miles is, what I'm saying is, it's got plenty of charge and plenty of power for all of your
Okay.
listeners to get around, senior citizens to run errands. There's plenty of power to get out of the way of somebody that maybe, cut you off, what have you.
Hmm.
Um, it's a very well built type of product. Very, very conscientious on the whole safety
Right.
features, and other than you running into something or somebody running into you, the cart is extremely safe.
Gotcha. That's encouraging because I know I've heard those stories about the Tesla and the fires and stuff like that. It's good to know the difference.
Our
What would you
batteries are
say?
not
Yeah.
nowhere near as volatile as those car batteries. But also, here's the difference. My battery is going to allow you to cruise around for 30 miles at full power.
Hmm.
It's a long, long, long way. Most people are driving it for a few miles. If you
Right.
play around a golfing one, for instance, it's only 4 miles, 4 or 5 miles to go around a
Okay.
whole golf course. So if you plug it in every few days, you're good to go. And we have a safety feature in it as well. If you don't use the cart
Yeah.
for a few days, the battery goes into sleep mode automatically and it
Okay.
shuts off on its own.
Okay.
So super, super, super safe situation. Also, the reason why the Tesla ones are so much more volatile, not only the fact that it's lithium ion compared to mine being lithium phosphate, but
Hmm.
the batteries in the cars are meant to get that car to go 350, 400 miles on a charge.
Right.
That's a lot of stuff involved to keep a
Right.
car to be able to go that long on a charge. For
Okay.
me, it's only 30 miles, for instance.
Yes.
If there's hills, it'll be right around there. If it's flat, you could probably go more than 30 miles because going up the hills takes, a lot of power to get up the hills, especially in North Georgia. But
Hmm.
because it's only 30 miles worth or 35 miles worth of power to get
Right.
around on a single charge compared to a car that can go 10 times that amount,
Right.
that's why the volatility is in um, these car batteries, because they have to have so much more chemicals and different things that merge together in the
Right.
battery to keep the car running.
Sure.
So mine, I want your listeners to know, are not the word I like to use is volatile. They're not harmful like that. We haven't had any issues whatsoever.
That's encouraging. What about we always in the work we do, we have a good, better, best scenario. Is
Yes,
there a good, better, best in the golf or the transportation vehicles? Do you have that kind of
I
tiers?
do. We have multiple lines. We have some that don't have all the bells and whistles. Then we
Okay.
have some that have a little bit more, and then we have the top of the line that'll come with four-wheel hydraulic disc brakes all the way around.
Okay.
They have electromagnetic parking brakes. So whenever you stop the golf cart, it doesn't move again unless you uh, step on the accelerator pedal, which will
Mhm.
disengage the electromagnetic brake. This is a little bit different than the regular golf
Right.
cart, where you have to jam on the brake pedal
Yep.
and lock
Yep.
it in so it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
But we had a situation where we saw years ago a young child playing around in by the pedals on a golf cart on a hill, and it was parked on a hill, and they somehow knocked into the pedal and it dislodged the brake, and the parents are running after the golf cart with the kid in the diapers going down the hill towards the water.
Wow.
So my very good friend who designed the carts with an engineer said, we don't want any of that. So they made
Yes.
it where when you stop in my vehicles, that's it. You stop and the
Wow.
cart won't move again unless you want it to move. So that's one of the features that we really like a lot, safety feature. We do have them. My most economical model, uh,
Hmm.
where you're probably looking at a range in the $9,000 range.
Right.
Wonderful, same type of battery, this lithium phosphate. It's wonderful transportation. You're not going to have any music with it. It doesn't have the four-wheel hydraulic brakes. It's got drum brakes in the rear. Uh,
Hmm.
doesn't have a backup camera in it. And then I have a couple of models that offer music, that have backup cameras in it, that have
Hmm.
rack and pinion steering. My top of the line, where you're looking at four-seaters in the $13,000 range. So
Okay.
there's from 9 to 11 to 13,000 on the four-seaters, and very, very competitively priced as
Right.
far as what's going on in the market today. I'm thousands of dollars less than my competitors. And when you look at the build of how our carts are built, the frames, the suspension, they're powder coated, so there's no rusting. We also offer aluminum frames. You have a situation where we're really taking over the golf cart market. We really are.
That's awesome. Hey, I love disruption in any market, in any industry. So that's exciting. And I'm going to guess that you have a partnership with some financing people that
We
can.
do. We do.
Okay.
I have multiple banks that love to do
Okay.
business with us,
Okay.
depending on what you feel like your specific needs are.
Yeah.
If you want to finance 5, 6 years worth, you can. I've got
Hmm.
2 years, 0% interest. We've got
Hmm.
100% financing. If you want to put some money down, you can. If you don't
Okay.
want to, you don't have to. And the 0% interest really has people excited because today, with the interest rates up,
Yes.
it used to be, a few, 2, 3, 4%. Now all of a sudden, even to go buy a new car, they want
Yes.
9%, right? Unless you get some
Absolutely.
special incentive. So we're running specials right now, and I
Hmm.
probably will run them for the next at least through the Christmas holidays, where you
Awesome.
can get 0% financing, use the bank's money, and not have to pay for it.
Sure. So as we uh, wind down, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can text me, you can email me, you can call me. I'll give you a couple different numbers. The
Okay.
Kliggy's Carts dealership is 770-726-2750. Most of the time, I will have that line forwarded to my cell phone because we get busy in the dealership and the guys could get a little bit, how can I say, distracted with customers, and I don't
Hmm.
like to miss any calls. So I'll forward it to my cell phone. People can also reach me on my cell phone, which is
Okay.
305-434-6324. And I can be reached on, you can text me on that number as well. People email me at david@kliggiescarts.com. That's
Okay.
KLIGGYSKARTS.com, and reach me. We're on Google. You can go to our website, kliggiescarts.com, tell you a lot about why we started doing what we're doing.
Awesome.
And yeah, very, very enjoyable business. And what we did was we strategically made these carts more affordable for the consumer
Right.
because the top brands that have been doing this for years and years and years are just gouging people. They're very overpriced, and we came in and we're making a lot of headway, and we're ruffling some feathers, but we're not greedy
Love it.
people, and everybody's happy.
Well, that's good. We'll put in the show notes for our listeners the links that you just covered so they can easily get to that information and be able to get a hold of you guys.
Also, if you
Yeah.
have friends and neighbors that have relatives down in Florida, we just opened up a new dealership, Kliggy's Carts, down in Fort Lauderdale.
Mhm.
So that as well, address is on our website for the multiple locations. I know a lot of
Okay.
people live in Georgia, have
Yes.
friends and family in Florida and vice versa. And so
Absolutely.
I'm excited with that opportunity. But yeah, we'll help out your listeners any way we can. We're offering great incentives right now through the
Hmm.
holidays. And
Awesome.
really looking forward to doing some business with you, Pete.
Well, I tell you, we love. I'll have to be thankful for the young lady that made me aware that you guys were there. I mean, I was like so excited that I could literally hit a 5 iron and hit your building from here. I mean,
And I never knew it.
maybe
I never knew it.
maybe a 2 iron. I don't know if I could do a five
A
iron.
lot of people see the carts, and that's when
Yes,
they visit me, when they see the
yes,
look of the cart. They like the look
I-
of the cart. Last
exactly.
year, you probably didn't know about it because I did no advertising whatsoever last year.
Right, right.
And we did about 2 million in sales with no advertising. And
Wow.
that I saw that there was going
Word
to
of mouth.
be. It was word of mouth. Everything is referral based, and
Yeah.
we are doing advertising this year. I'm involved with some large campaigns because I
Mhm.
wanted to grow my brand. But yeah,
Sure.
everything is word of mouth. If people go to the website, we have over 100 reviews that are of people, past customers that have done business with us, whether they
Mhm.
bought one or multiple carts. No disgruntled people. Everyone's happy, so I'm very excited about that. And one last thing before we sign off,
Yeah.
which should excite your listeners, out of all the thousands of carts that we have on the road right now, what the most exciting part for me, you can't find any used ones. Everybody always asks me, Cliggy, you got any used ones? They don't want to spend 9 or 10,000. You got anything for 5,000? I'm always looking, Pete, and I can never find anybody that's either got a used one for sale.
That's
So
beautiful.
they're all being
That's a
discarded.
good problem to have because you know that people love them and keep
And they're
them.
keeping them, and it's
Yeah,
exciting. It is
that's good.
excited. But I
Well, we want.
appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time to share with our listeners. I've just named you the transportation guy, so I don't
I
know if
like it.
Dick, but I mean, when you talk about transportation, we all love transportation, and so we have to get around. And I know for our residents here, they're excited because I've been talking to them about having a cart outside and be able to get around in the local area and get to these places because especially as the winter hits, it gets a little chilly when you're walking out there as far as some of these places are. So we're
I
looking.
do have them on our 2-inch lift. We're using
Yeah.
those mostly for seniors. And then
Yeah.
the ones that are lifted up a little higher, they're more muscular looking type of thing.
Yeah.
The younger
Yeah.
people are getting in that and having fun with that. But we have a model that'll fit any age, and I'm extremely encouraged about what 2024 holds for us. I really am.
No, I can see why. The more I understand, the more I get excited about the different options for our viewers and for people to know that there's solutions out there that you've described on the
There
show.
are, and I'm running big incentives and sales right through Christmas right now. So I encourage anybody to give me a call, and I'm always willing to make a great deal. People have all sorts of different needs for their cart.
Yeah.
We also have scooters that have, for inside your home,
Yeah.
if you're handicapped to get around inside, the ones that are in
Yeah.
Publix, they're like
Yes.
mobility scooters. So if you
Right.
have people that are handicapped, it's not for golfing, but it allows you, they're electric with lithium batteries, allows you to get around and very, very competitively priced. We
Awesome.
also have e-bikes where the batteries charge if you pedal. If you don't pedal, it
Oh,
just goes on its own up to 30 miles an hour. But if you decide to get some exercise and you pedal the bicycle,
right.
it recharges the battery as you're going.
Dang. That's awesome.
So we're opening many different avenues to allow people to get around.
Yes,
To get around.
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, Dave, I know you got plenty to do today, so
I
thank you
do.
for carving out some time. And we always let our listeners, we always ask them if you know of a person that would be a good guest, Bartina will be back in touch with you. Share, like you have a friend with the Royal Electric carts. I'd love to have him on the show maybe in the future.
I think that I'll talk to him a little bit later today. I think it would
Okay.
probably be a good bit, a really good idea because
Yeah.
he's the brains behind the whole thing, and
Yeah. You always
he's
like people
building
to
them.
shake up the industry.
I'm just a little guy. I just distribute them, but
Yeah.
he's building them, and so that's he's Mr. Big.
Okay. Well, we even let Mr. Biggs on here. All
Yeah, I'm just a little guy.
right.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Dave.
Pete. I enjoyed it a
Okay.
lot. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. You bet. All right. You have a wonderful
You
day. And
too.
thanks for our viewers for tuning in today.
Thank you, Pete.